What's good, everybody? I had to take the time out to give a shout out to Timothy the Desert Storm Bradley and congratulate him on his victory over Marquez. It was a job well done, a masterful performance. And I remember saying years ago, right here on the City Ass website, that Timothy Bradley was going to be the future of the welterweight division. And I remember people not really agreeing with me too much. People were saying that he was a boring fighter, that he couldn't draw flies, that he was a cheater, and that he had no power. I think he only had like 11 knockouts or something like that at the time. But fight by fight, Timothy Bradley has proven me right, and I still believe in him, and I still believe that he is the future of the welterweight division. The man is willing to fight fucking anybody. Okay, I don't want to hear anything about Amir Khan, about him ducking Amir Khan. That was pure bullshit. He did not duck Amir Khan. It was a perfectly legitimate business decision that ended up working out well for him in the fucking end. I mean, that's just the end of the fucking story, man. I mean, nobody was scared of fucking Amir Khan. Okay? Now, you would have to ask yourself, what would make a man turn down such an offer from Amir Khan with the UK pay-per-view buys and all that money that he was offered from Amir Khan? You have to ask yourself, what would make a man who hasn't really made too much money at that time, what would make him turn that down? You think that him being afraid of Amir Khan is what made him turn that down? No, obviously him and Bob Arum had already discussed whatever plans that they had, and Timothy Bradley followed through with those talks that they had, and he went over to Top Rank, and he got the fight with Manny Pacquiao. That didn't really turn out the way that he wanted it to, but in the end, he ended up in a better situation making the decision that he made not to fight Amir Khan at that fucking time. Okay, and he's gone on to look better and better while Amir Khan can't seem to stay on his fucking feet anymore. Okay, so that Amir Khan argument is just garbage to me. But Timothy Bradley, I didn't always think that he was the future of the welterweight division. I remember when I first seen Timothy Bradley, it was against Junior Witter. And even though he put on a good performance and he definitely clearly won that fight, I thought that Timothy Bradley was over anxious, a little bit clumsy and wild with his punching. There was a couple of times where he threw punches so hard where he almost came off his own feet and shit. I think he might have, I think he did go off balance when he missed one of his shots. I can't remember for sure. But I remember there was a couple of fights where I seen Timothy Bradley fighting like that, and I was like, man, this guy is kind of clumsy, and it's only a matter of time before somebody catches him. And then the Kendall Holt fight took place. And I'm telling you, when this fight started, I was thinking to myself that Kendall Holt is going to fuck around and knock this guy out if he's as wild as I've seen him, at that point in time. And the first round comes, and boom, Kendall Holt catches him. The referee starts to count, and this is where my opinion of the Desert Storm changed forever, man. When he patiently waited for the referee to get to 8, and he stood up, and he switched his entire fucking game up on Kendall Holt and started boxing, sticking and moving, working from the outside, counter-punching effectively. I was like, this guy right here is something fucking special right here, because for me, that's what I look for. That's big for me outside the ropes. I love a fighter that can adjust, man. If you can adjust like that, then I'm going to fucking believe in you, man. And Timothy Bradley showed me in that fight his ability to adjust to a different style that was in front of him. And it made me appreciate him. And I've been a fan of Timothy Bradley since that fucking fight. He's had some tough times over the past few years. He went through all that hell because he beat Manny Pacquiao, and people felt that he got an undeserved decision. People called it a robbery. In my opinion, I don't think that fight was a robbery at all. Even if Manny Pacquiao did win, he only won by a round, okay? 7 rounds could have gone to either fucking fighter, in my opinion. I think that people got caught up into the commentary, and I think people were just looking at what Pacquiao was going to do and not really paying attention to what Timothy Bradley was doing as far as the body punching. And he was able to counterpunch still effectively in the championship rounds when he had two bad feet under him. And one thing that I want to talk about real quick, just briefly, people are saying that Manny Pacquiao was the one that crippled Timothy Bradley. Okay, that is false. Okay, Timothy Bradley already had a sprained ankle before the fight even started. That's why he couldn't really get away from that punch that kind of grazed him, that made him roll over to his other ankle. And that's the reason why he had two bad feet in that fight and he couldn't move around the way that he wanted to. Okay, let's stop acting stupid and act like we don't know this, okay? Now, that's not Manny Pacquiao's fault that Timothy Bradley came in with the injured ankle. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is Timothy Bradley was still able to counterpunch, get on the inside, get his body punches off, and make Manny Pacquiao miss going into the championship rounds with two bad feet under him. Okay, so you can only imagine what can happen the next time that these two get in the ring. And this is the reason why Manny Pacquiao ducked Timothy Bradley for a rematch. Okay? Point blank period. Pacquiao ducked Timothy Bradley for the rematch. Timothy Bradley was waiting around for Manny Pacquiao for a rematch, and Manny Pacquiao said that he had nothing to prove to Timothy Bradley because deep down inside, him and Freddie Roach both knew that Timothy Bradley was going to easily beat Pacquiao in a rematch. Okay, they both knew that, and they still know it to this fucking day. And I don't think that rematch is ever going to happen. I think that Pacquiao is going to duck his way out of that. Okay, he might not. He might fight him, and that would be a good fight, and I hope it does happen so we can finally shut these stupid fans up. But Timothy Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao, and he caught hell for it. And so he goes out there and he tries to prove something to the idiot fans by damn near getting his head knocked off and giving himself a concussion against Provodnikov. And after the fight, after he showed his amazing heart in that fight and his determination and his willingness to stand in there and slug it out even though he didn't have to, he did all of this for the fans. And these motherfucking assholes still booed him after the fucking fight. So I would just advise Timothy Bradley from this point on to don't fight for the fucking fans, okay? Fight for your family, fight for your pockets, and fight for your own personal legacy. As long as you're fucking happy with yourself and your career at the end of the day, that's the only thing that fucking matters, man. As long as you keep winning like you've been doing, that's all you fucking need, man. People aren't going to have any choice but to respect the Desert Storm. If you keep doing what you're doing and keep fighting everybody, I think that that's the way to go. And I'm just enjoying watching Timothy Bradley's career, man. I really am. What I want to see next for him, I wouldn't mind seeing the Provodnikov rematch. I think that he will beat him easily next time because he's not going to be stupid. He was beating him easily when he was listening to his corner and he was boxing from the outside instead of trying to slug it out. If he fights the same type of fight that he fought against Marquez, he will beat Provodnikov easy next time. I will put my last fucking dollar on it, man. I'll put my money on Timothy Bradley, man. He would beat Provodnikov. If not, he can fight the winner of the Pacquiao-Brandon Rios fight. If it's Brandon Rios, I think that would be an exciting fight. But I think that Timothy Bradley would beat Brandon Rios as well. I don't really see anybody really fucking with Timothy Bradley other than Floyd Mayweather, which that fight is not going to happen, so I'm not going to even entertain that. But I think that that's really the biggest threat for him out there. And I think that he has a good shot at anybody else at 147. But those are looking like the matches that may take place, either Provodnikov or the winner of the Pacquiao-Brandon Rios fight. But you guys let me know who you want to see Timothy Bradley fight next. Is it time now to give Timothy Bradley the respect that he deserves? I mean, he beat Manny Pacquiao. It's said and done. It's all over. He had no control over the scorecards, none of that shit. And on top of that, I mean, he really did fucking win some rounds. I mean, you guys are talking like Manny Pacquiao went out there and won the shit 10 rounds to 2. Okay, it wasn't like that at all. It was a close fight that he got the nod in. So let off the man. You know what I'm saying? Give him his fucking props and stop hating him over some stupid shit. You know, that's all I have to say about that. But you guys leave your comments, and I'm out. Peace.